for you at Community Medical Clinic in Princeton. So I wanted to let you know that although my location has changed, I will continue to be able to see my existing patients and look forward to the opportunity to serve new patients. You can call the Community Medical Clinic at 270-365-0227 to schedule your appointment today.
Caldwell Medical Center Sleep Lab offers diagnosis for a variety of sleep problems, including sleep apnea. 1 in every 5 Americans have significant sleep difficulties, which, when diagnosed properly, can be successfully treated. A few symptoms of sleep disorders include fatigue, morning headaches, impotence, frequent urination, irritability, memory loss, high blood pressure, and like snoring. We have some to be able
aspects of the game. And Dennis, to the and their coaching staff, you got to be with that first half.
Was probably going to be pretty much thrilled with the game. She saw her team come out with some intensity tonight. Didn't try to play down to the competition or think they had it in the bag. They started out great, held a lead at the first 19-7. Outside the second if they take one step or get in a little better position and use a little patience on those second chance opportunities, this score could be 23 instead of 13.
Definitely, and that's something that really the only negative you can take away from the Lady Tigers on that one. But as far as this the play of some players who we've seen have varsity minutes but not maybe as substantial as varsity minutes as in this game have really stepped up and have been a bright spot for this. And so I know with this being such a young team for the Lady Tigers, it's always nice to see especially these freshmen come in and make a major impact on a game.
They're doing a great job tonight, and the scoring is very balanced. We'll take a look at the Lady Tigers scoring first tonight. In the first half, you had 6 kids get in the scoring book, led by 9 points from J.C. Jaggers. After that, 7 points from Jada Boyd, 5 points for Peyton Young, who had an early three-pointer, 4 points for Lucy Goffinette, who picked up a couple of fouls in that first half, had to come out. Then you had 2 each for Bella McConnell and for Carson Parker, who had a whale of a game on the boards. From the line so far in that first half, this is something you love for a high school team, 6 out of 7 from the free throw line. For Dawson Springs, 4 players so far in the books, led by Erin Orton with 6 points, Brooklyn Cotton with 5, 3 points for Denisha Randolph, and 2 points for Brooklyn Clark. Speaking of good free throw shooting, that's a plus for Dawson tonight, 4 out of 4 from the line.
Definitely, and the free throw really about the only thing in this game that's been even as far as statistics go. As we mentioned, the Lady Tigers really taking control in both of those quarters, and it'll be interesting to see. One thing we noticed with Dawson Springs was throughout the whole first half relying on that 3-2 zone defensively. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of changes are made by Dawson, if any, on the defensive end. And then again, as we always talk about with basketball being such a chess match at times, what the Lady Tigers do to respond to that. Will the Lady Tigers come out with that pressure like they did in the first? But overall, you've got to think things going well for the Lady Tigers. You win this game, that sets you up on the right foot for then a big week next week with games against Hopkins County Central and Madisonville North, I believe.
Yeah, I think there's a doubleheader with Madisonville coming up, boys and girls in action. I think the first one's here at the Cab. I'll let you check on that. One of the reasons I think Dawson's content, Eric, to stay in this 3-2 zone, they know they don't have the quickness to go with Jada Boyd. They don't have the strength to battle Carson Parker, Bella McConnell, J.C. Jaggers. So they're going to take their lumps, see if they can keep this one relatively close and maybe make a run. But I would be very surprised if they come into a man-to-man in the second half, even though the zone is obviously got them in a 13-point hole right now.
Definitely, and looking forward a little, we do have a couple games coming up this weekend in the 6th, 7th District Challenge. I know a couple teams will be present in that one. It's I believe it's Union County, Hopkins Central, Webster County, and Caldwell County all participating in that one. And then the Tigers on Saturday, the guys face off against Webster as well as the girls. So a full week or full Saturday of basketball, and then next week, looking ahead, we do have a game on the girls' side, January 9th, Madisonville North Hopkins. That'll be at home. Girls tip off at 6 with the guys to follow. And then January 12th, Hopkins County Central. The girls will tip off at 6. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that one may be a doubleheader as well.
Well, you've got to look at Madisonville, 1-1 in the district. Dawson 0-2 right now. This is Caldwell's first game in the district. But Hopkins Central sitting atop the district standings right now at 2-0. So those will be big games next week. And what Coach Thomas has described last week in a couple of interviews with her during the tournament as the most wide open district she's seen in years.
And so it always makes for a fun time, especially when you have a district that's as balanced as this one is this year. And so it should be an exciting tournament, especially as we know stranger things can happen in the tournament no matter what your seed is, but always good to come out as that number 1.
Yeah, you've coached enough of the high school girls in soccer that you know on any given night you come out and let a team hang around, you stand the possibility of going behind and staying behind.
Definitely, and now we are back in action in the second quarter, or in the second half, I should say. Lady Tigers in possession of the ball. Peyton Young tried to feed it inside to Carson Parker. That was knocked away. Hendricks picks it up. The Lady Tigers start the half with a 29-16 lead. Dawson will work the ball around. They get it to Randolph. Randolph cutting into the lane, has that ball just taken out of her hands by J.C. Jaggers. Jaggers in a 1-on-2 situation. Nice job to hold up there. Lets two Lady Panthers fly by and puts it up for an easy 2. Extends the lead to 31-16, 7:24 to go in the third quarter.
Eric, that's some of that patience I was talking about. J.C. had kind of an awkward angle, but she was patient as Dawson puts in a basket on the other end. J.C. was patient, let the two players go by her. She was able to take it up off the board.
Lady Tigers with a 31-18 lead, 7:07 to go in the third. They feed it inside to Carson Parker, put off the glass, no good. Jaggers comes crashing in with the rebound, is able to hold, and we have a foul called against the Lady Panthers.
I wasn't sure who scored for Dawson on the other end.
I believe it was Cotton, and Cotton will pick up the foul as well. That will be her second foul. Will be Dawson Springs' first of the half. Lady Tigers work the ball around, try and feed it into the lane to Goffinette. Has that ball swatted away. Cotton picks up the loose ball. Now we'll go left side, high arcing shot. That one left just short. It's going to be picked up by Goffinette. Goffinette hands to Boyd. They'll get it to Young. Young, long jumper, up no good. Ensuing rebound is going to be corralled by Randolph. Randolph tries to float it forward for Hendricks. Going to be picked up by Jada Boyd. Already Dawson with 2 turnovers in the second half. Lady Tigers work it around the perimeter. We'll get it to the hand of Boyd.
And Dawson stays in that 3-2 zone defense.
Boyd will hold, gets it to Jaggers. Jaggers back to Boyd. Lady Tigers working around the arc. Peyton Young pump fake, gets it back to Boyd. Young now for a 3 ball. That one rattles around, gets the touch and in. Lady Tigers lead extends to 34-18. 5:59 to go in the third quarter.
Excuse me, Eric. Second 3 of the night for Peyton Young.
Cotton trying to drive the lane, slips, loses the ball. We've got a scrum for it. Will be a jump ball. Possession will go with the Lady Panthers. So have some substitutions for Caldwell County now. Carson Parker, Lucy Goffinette checking out of the game, and checking in are sophomore Bella McConnell and freshman Maja Hollowell. Lady Panthers inbound, try and feed it into the lane. McConnell swats that one away, is able to pick it up. Orton all over her. She'll be able to get it out to Boyd. Boyd to Jaggers. Long 2 from the left side. This one too strong. Back to the iron. Tipped away. Last off the hands of the Lady Panthers. So Caldwell County will maintain possession as they look to expand on this 34-18 lead. Young looks to inbound right baseline, floats it to Jaggers. Jaggers thinks about a 3, instead will drive and kick it to Hollowell. Hollowell to Boyd at the point. Boyd holds to Jaggers, nothing down low, she'll get it to Boyd. Pass is swatted, Jaggers picks it up for 3. That one off the back of the rim, no good. Ball squirts around, corralled by Boyd, has it stripped. McConnell picks it up, free throw line, up no good. Simpson with the defensive board. Simpson will hand off to Randolph. Randolph across midcourt to Cotton. Cotton surveys it up, thinks about a 3, now will take it. That one off the mark. Defensive board by Young. Lady Tigers quickly across midcourt, try and feed it down low over the outstretched hands of a Dawson Springs defender, off the hands of McConnell and out for a Lady Tiger turnover.
Yeah, it was a pretty good rebound down here by Peyton Young, able to get some position down low. Probably one of the 2 smallest players for the Lady Tigers on the court.
Lady Panthers in possession. Get it to Hendricks. Hendricks holds right on the arc. Goes to Orton for 3. Pure shot by Orton, up and in. Cuts the deficit down to 14. Lady Tigers lead, 4:38 to go in the third quarter. As we mentioned, this is a 7th district matchup. This will play into the seeding for postseason as Jada Boyd puts up a 3 and in. Lady Tigers now up by 17. 4:22 left in the quarter. Boyd, no hesitation on that 3. Knew she wanted to take it and hit it.
Answered Orton's 3 with some little flair to it.
Simpson for the Lady Panthers thinks about a 3, instead feeds it inside to Hendricks. Hendricks losing that ball, squirts out to Orton in the left corner. Orton to Simpson. Simpson to drive, kicks it out to Hendricks, backs to Orton. Long 2 contested by McConnell. No good. Hollowell scoops up the rebound for the Lady Tigers. Out of the backcourt is Jada Boyd. Boyd driving into the lane, 2-step, right hand up, no good. That's a travel. Maybe you can get away with that in the NBA, not in high school basketball in Kentucky.
Maybe a little jump stop right there from about 6 feet. She had an open jumper, just took it in a step too far without keeping the dribble going. So turnover number 4 in the quarter for Caldwell County. Only 5 in the first half.
One of those that goes from a Euro step into Asia. One too many. Jaggers in transition, right hand up, contested and in. Lady Tigers up 39-20, 3:30 remaining in the quarter. Cotton looking to answer quickly, throws it up in the lane. That one I think was blocked and picked up by McConnell. McConnell gets it to Boyd. Boyd picking up some speed across the Tigers logo, looks to drive, kicks it out to Jaggers. Jumper no good. Peyton Young able to snatch away the rebound. Young dances along the baseline, has that ball taken away. A little bit of a scrum and a foul. As trapped on the ground was Brooklyn Clark. Was surrounded by Lady Tigers, drew to the contact. Looks like.
And Eric, a little sloppy play by the Lady Tigers here in the third quarter. Only 5 turnovers in the first half, already 5 in this quarter. And we have just a couple of ticks over 3 minutes to go.
McConnell was credited with that foul from the Lady Tigers. It was the Lady Tigers' first foul of the quarter. Lady Panthers in possession, feed it left side of the lane to Cotton and dropping the hammer. Peyton Young had it eyed up. That was one of those that just off the mark. If you're an inch or two to your left, that's nothing, nothing but ball. Instead, that will send Orton to the line for the Lady Panthers. Orton's first is up a little short, off the front of the iron, no good.
First miss at the line tonight for the Lady Panthers. Otherwise, they were 4 out of 4 before that one.
Orton a 61.5% shooter. And coming into this game, Dawson Springs shooting 58.5 from the line. So a fairly good free throw shooting team.
Kelsey Ford, Morgan McDaniels into the ball game now for the Lady Tigers.
A little discussion going on at the scorers table. Seem to have 1 or 2 of those a game. At least this time it's not doesn't seem to be a technical malfunction. It's back to the line as Orton. Her second is up off the front of the iron, no good. Jaggers snatches away the rebound. Jaggers in transition, gets it down low to Ford. She'll put it to McDaniels. McDaniels' contested shot is going to be picked up by Simpson.
That was a very good catch by Kelsey Ford on a pass that was almost out of bounds.
We'll hand it over to Clark. Clark to Orton. Orton left side of the lane, and instead is going to be hit with a traveling violation. That will be a Lady Tiger ball.
Dawson's going to bring a little full court pressure as they get it into Jaggers.
Jaggers able to break that press across midcourt. Open Ford in the left corner. She steps in for a long 2, no good. Ensuing rebound knocked away by Peyton Young. Will be a Lady Panther ball. And as you mentioned, a little more aggressive on the defensive side of things was Dawson Springs on that possession. Now to inbound for the Lady Panthers. As Clark brings it across midcourt. Skip pass to Cotton. Cotton lines up a 3. This one off the mark. Will airball and go out for a Lady Tiger ball. 2:14 remaining in the third quarter. Lady Tigers lead 39-20. Jaggers bringing the ball out of the backcourt. Allow the Lady Tigers to set up offensively. Jaggers trying to drive. No room. Loses that ball around Cotton. That's going to be picked up by Simpson. Simpson in transition for the Lady Panthers. Lays it off to Randolph. Long 3. Just off the mark. Ball's going to be tipped out by a Lady Tiger on the rebound. So Dawson Springs will maintain possession. And Dawson really not afraid to shoot beyond the arc. Not connecting with many tonight.
Yeah,
but trying
I think so far, but when you're down 19, you've got to do something, so they're going ahead and letting it launch.
They're trying to climb their way back into this game. They'll get it to Clark. Clark holds to Randolph. Randolph to Cotton. Cotton met by Young. Cotton is going to draw contact as she tries to drive into the lane. Looks like that foul is going to go against Kelsey Ford.
Yeah, I thought they were going to pick up Morgan McDaniels on the reach. Kelsey Ford, though, picks up the foul for the Lady Tigers. And that's 3 on them here in the third quarter. First on Kelsey.
Dawson Springs to inbound from the right baseline. Randolph looking for some help, gets it to Orton in the corner. Orton to Simpson. Simpson, loose ball, she picks it back up. Simpson feeds it inside to Orton. Orton throws it up with the right hand, gets it to drop along with some contact, so that will send Orton to the line to make it a 3-point play. Foul being credited to J.C. Jaggers. Be Caldwell County's 4th foul of the game. Jaggers first. Sends Orton back to the line to make it a 3-point play. Orton's free throw up off the front of the iron, no good. McDaniels with the rebound. Daniels almost has that ball stripped and has her pass tipped. And the Lady Tigers smart play there. Instead of chasing it down, let it go out, and we'll reset, reload, and try again.
And the Lady Panthers are going to bring full court pressure. It's going to be man-to-man as they do get it into Jaggers.
Jaggers dancing her way around Cotton. Able to create some space. Kicks it into the front court to McDaniels. Shot put up by Young from the left side. That's going to rattle around and drop. Lady Tigers now with a 41-22 game. A minute left to go in the 3rd quarter.
Young in double figures for Caldwell County. That was her 10th point of the night.
Cotton will hold. Cotton able to find a little bit of space. Drives. Draws a foul. The foul will be on the floor. I think that one's going to go to Kelsey Ford as well.
Wasn't bad defense. Kelsey just moving a little bit, bodied up, tried to reposition herself defensively, and was called for the foul.
Picks up her 2nd foul, Caldwell County's 5th. Lady Panthers to inbound. They'll get it to Clark. Clark thinks about a 3 instead, drives right baseline, throws it high, no good. Scrum underneath the goal. That will be a jump ball and Lady Tigers possession. Caldwell County maintaining a 41-22 point lead. Under a minute here in the 3rd. Looking to get it across midcourt is McDaniels. She'll get it to Jaggers. Jaggers working around Cotton and around the screen set by McConnell. Jaggers will dance around 30 seconds. Get it to Young. Young thinks about a 3 instead. Tries to cut across the lane. Is bumped out to beyond the arc. She'll hand to Ford. Ford cutting across the top of the key. Hands it off to Jaggers. 18 seconds. Jaggers looks to drive. Nowhere there. Leaves it off for McDaniels. McDaniels steps in. Shot up. No good. Rebound McConnell. McConnell throws it up. Draws contact. And not often that you see on a foul the player committing the foul getting the worst end of it.
Yeah, she did against Bella.
Yeah.
But Bella's done this so much. She's only a sophomore, but she's got some moves. She knows when to put the ball back up quickly. She's patient when she needs to be. And those are veteran moves out of a sophomore as Bella misses her first free throw of the night.
McConnell, we talk a lot about her, just her strength. A couple of those shots, how she's just kind of throwing up like that, it found the bottom of the basket this season. It's her 2nd free throw up and in. And I'm almost amazed, and you don't say that often, that a shot like that didn't drop because of just of her strength and just the ability to find the bottom of that basket in uncanny situations. Dawson in possession. They'll leave it to Orton. Orton off the glass and in. That will be the last basket of the 3rd quarter. And after 3, it's Caldwell County 42, Dawson Springs 24. We'll take a 30-second break and be back for the final 4th quarter of action. You've been listening to Lady Tigers basketball here on the Tigers Sports Network.
Here at McGregor Group Heating and Air, we are so proud to be a part of this community. We want to thank you for the opportunity to serve you for all of your heating and air needs. McGregor Group Heating and Air specializes in residential, new construction, and light commercial installations, also servicing most makes and models. We offer fast service with polite and friendly staff. We provide our customers with a peace of mind by offering the best warranties in the industry, along with high-quality products. McGregor Group Heating and Air is located at 960 Varmint Trace here in Princeton. Give us a call today at 270-896-5044. We're the company that you can take comfort in.
And we are back here at Caldwell County's Community Activities Building. Caldwell County Lady Tigers lead Dawson Springs 42-24. And Eric, this Caldwell County is just playing a great night defensively against Dawson Springs. A ton of offensive turnovers are really putting the pressure on Dawson Springs. Dawson able to work it down to Orton. I had Orton credited with a 3 in that quarter. Actually, I guess they scored at a 2 at some point, but 6 of the 8 points in that quarter by Orton for Dawson, and pretty much their only highlight of the night.
We're back for the 4th quarter of action. Lady Tigers up 42-24. Dawson in possession. They'll work it around to Fain. Fain gets it to Randolph. Randolph will hold right side of the arc. Gets it to Clark. Clark drives, kicks it off to Randolph. Open three, high arcing ball. Can't drop. Jada Boyd snatches away the defensive board. Boyd across midcourt, picking up speed. Tries to kick it off to Goffinette. Was stolen and saved from going out of bounds by Clark. Goffinette able to hold it, and instead will be hit with a traveling violation. So the Lady Tigers will lose out on possession on that one. Ball will go to Dawson Springs.
Lady Tigers just a little bit sloppy in that third quarter. 6 turnovers. That's the first one here of the fourth.
7:20 to go in the ball game. Lady Tigers still maintaining a 42-24 lead. Ball comes to Orton in the right corner. She'll hand off to Randolph, cutting across the key to Simpson. Simpson looks to drive to Orton. Orton feeds it back inside to Simpson. Spins, right hand off the glass, good. Lady Tigers lead cut to 42-26.
First points of the night for Kaylee Simpson of Dawson Springs.
Goffinette met quickly by Fain. She'll drive right baseline, floater. That one just short. Orton comes away with the rebound, and Peyton Young, with just sheer tenacity, snatches that ball out of her hands. We'll have a jump ball. And Caldwell County will maintain possession, and a lot of credit to the junior on that one. A heads-up play, saw the ball high and decided to snatch it for her own.
She had a little aggressiveness of her sister Paige Young back on the soccer field back in the day. Like seeing that out of Peyton.
Ball inbounded to Jada Boyd. Boyd holds at the point. Boyd working one-on-one with Clark. Will dance around, cuts across the top of the arc, gets it to Goffinette. Goffinette drives top of the key. Will push it out to Young. Young now her turn to cut across the top. Finds some space, pulls up middle of the lane, high off the glass and off the mark. Rebound tips around. Orton tries to save it, sends it right back into the hands of Peyton Young. Young hands it to Boyd. Everyone will take a deep breath, back out and try again.
Eric, we don't chart it, but I would say 75% of Caldwell's possessions have resulted in at least one offensive rebound tonight.
As Lady Tigers lose possession of the ball, mishandled there by Goffinette as it slips out of bounds. 2 substitutions now for the Lady Tigers. Hollowell and Parker out of the game. It looks like McConnell
and Jaggers
join them back. Dawson inbounds. It's going to be driven in by Randolph into the lane. Up, no good. Jaggers snatches away that rebound. Is double teamed, able to get it out to Boyd. Boyd had that ball stripped from behind. A little bit of contact instead. Looks like that foul is going to go against Brooklyn Clark.
Yeah, Caldwell County had the numbers on that 4-3 because Dawson left 2 back to double team the rebound from J.C. Jaggers. Boyd had the numbers. She had the back tap from the Dawson player, but got a little bit too much arm.
Cotton checks back into the game for the Lady Panthers. Lady Tigers inbound, get it left corner to Young, thinks about a 3. Instead will back out and get it to the point to Boyd. It's like Dawson now in a man-to-man. So the Lady Tigers work the ball around the arc. They'll go left side to Boyd. Boyd holds top of the key to McConnell. She'll kick it right side to Goffinette. Goffinette drawing a little bit of contact, no foul. Able to hold on to the ball. Her pass skips around, is going to be picked up by Simpson. Simpson able to get the ball over to Cotton. Cotton thinks about driving. We'll get it to Clark. Clark to Randolph. Randolph high arcing 3. Wow. Nothing but net. I think if you looked at that, there would be a pot of gold underneath that shot. An absolute rainbow that goes straight through. And with that 3, Coach Thomas will take a full timeout. We'll go ahead and take a 30-second break and then be back with the final 5:06 of the fourth quarter. You've been listening to Lady Tigers basketball here on the Tigers Sports Network.
Have you been a victim of debit or credit card fraud? Farmers Bank and Trust can help lessen your risk of getting taken advantage of. As our customer, you have exclusive access to a security feature in our app that will allow you to turn your debit card off while you're not using it, then turn it on instantly when you need to use it. Keep your information safe. Log into our free app to use this feature, increasing the security of your information right now. Not a Farmers Bank customer? Come down. Let us set up your account and start protecting you from potential fraud opportunities. This is not a guarantee that your information will not be compromised. This is an increased security measure. Farmers Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
And we are back here at the Cab Building. 5:06 left in the third quarter. Dawson Springs has clawed its way back from an 18-point deficit to trailed by just 13. And actually, I had to do a little math there, Dick.
A little math
13.
there.
And Coach Thomas wanted a timeout, a full timeout, to talk to the Lady Tigers, try to get that intensity back up, slow their pace down, and play a little bit smarter as turnovers are starting to bite. But here with the last 5 minutes, the voice of the Lady Tigers, Eric Jacobs.
Thanks, Dennis. We're back in action. Looks like we have a foul called. A foul going against Bella McConnell on the offensive end. Boyd went coast to coast, put one up with the right hand, was no good. And McConnell called with the player control foul on that one.
Tough call against Bella. I didn't really see it, and I'm not sure Coach Thomas was happy about it, but it's going the other way.
Dawson Springs in possession. They work the ball around the perimeter. Lady Tigers in a man-to-man. Orton gets the ball to Simpson. Simpson met by Young, kicks it off to Randolph. Randolph passed a little too hot to handle, is able to corral it, steps into the lane with the right hand up, no good. It's going to be pulled down by Jaggers. Jaggers' little mishandle on the ball is able to get it over to Boyd, who brings it out of back court. Boyd to Young on the left side of the arc. Young holds to the point to McConnell. McConnell looking to drive. Jumper throws it up off the back of the iron. It's going to be picked up by Jaggers with the offensive board. Put back no good. Simpson there with the defensive rebound for the Lady Panthers, who come charging back the other way. Cotton spinning, dancing around the right side of the lane, kicks off to Randolph. High shot. That one just short. Cotton able to pick up the rebound, throws it off the bottom of the backboard. McConnell snatches away the rebound, although her pass is going to be contested. Skips around and out. Possession will go to Dawson Springs. And so Dawson, you can sense a little bit of a momentum shift here inside the cab. Dawson feeling or exuding a little bit more confidence than we've seen early on in the game.
Yeah, this is as close as they've been in a while. They get the pass in, but it's going to go out of bounds. It'll be a turnover about the time we brag on them a little bit. But Eric, I think the Lady Tigers are having a little bit of trouble with Dawson's man-to-man defense, half-court defense. We didn't know if Dawson would come out of that zone. Actually, they've looked better defensively in the man-to-man.
Definitely have put a lot more pressure on the Lady Tigers as they're able to break that press. Boyd across midcourt is going to be fouled coming into the lane.
And Jada kind of bailed out on that one, a little bit of too much steam.
Maybe a little out of control. Foul going against Brooklyn Clark, her second, team's fourth. Lady Tigers inbound, get it to Boyd. Boyd will hold back out to Goffinette.
And surprisingly, Dawson went 2-3. Now they're back into man-to-man.
We'll get it out to Goffinette at the point. She swings it left side for Jaggers. Jaggers around the screen, middle of the lane, dances her way through, has the ball knocked away.
Ooh. I think she got away with another one.
Thinks she got away with that one, yes. That one maybe caught her knee coming into the lane. Instead, Lady Tigers catch a break. Will maintain possession of the ball. Young to inbound from the left baseline. Floats it out for Goffinette. Jaggers there to bail her out. The ball came off of her hands.
Dawson into 2-3 out of the inbounds play. They zoned the inbounds pass. Now they'll go back man-to-man.
Lady Tigers working around Young. Thinks about a three. Instead will hold. Calls for a screen. Gets around it. Hands it to Goffinette. Goffinette left side to Jaggers. Jaggers cutting across the top of the key. Gets it to Boyd. Pick set. Boyd, top of the key. Skips it inside to Carson Parker. Right hand off the glass and in. And great ball movement there and execution by the Lady Tigers to extend the lead to 44-29. 2:50 to go in the fourth.
That was great ball movement. You said it right there by the Lady Tigers. They were patient. They realized, hey, we're not behind in this game. We don't have to shoot if they're going to play us a little bit loose.
High three. Put up over an outstretched hand by Brooklyn Clark. And the Lady Panthers heating up from beyond the arc here in the fourth quarter. Boyd brings it across midcourt. Tried to feed it to Goffinette down low. Gets the ball returned to her and will reset. Boyd able to dance around Randolph. She'll hold and get it over to Jaggers. Jaggers holds, has to move, starts to drive, kicks it out right corner. Three from Goffinette. That one too strong. Carson Parker with the rebound. Can't get the putback. Cotton able to get the ball. We'll have a jump ball. Possession with Dawson Springs. And again, heads up play there. Not to give anything easy. Carson Parker comes crashing in, tries to snatch that ball away. And has really been a bright spot for this Lady Tiger team.
She absolutely has, and sometimes you forget how young she is. She doesn't have a lot of varsity experience, but playing very well tonight.
Cotton dancing her way. Nifty little move there into the lane, steps to the left, puts it up and in. Deficit cut back down to 10 for the final minute 46. Boyd skips it down low. Carson Parker, left hand, won't get it to fall. There's going to be some contact on that shot. That will send Carson Parker to the line. That foul going against Aaron Orton. Parker so far tonight, I believe 2 of 2 from the line.
Caldwell led after 3, 42-24. That lead down to 10, back up to 11 with the free throw by Parker.
And Parker just continuing to have a great night, has been perfect from the line. It's been just about everywhere for the Lady Tigers. Parker back, gets the shooter's touch off the back of the iron, skips around, drops, and in. Lady Tigers now lead 46-34. A minute 37 left in the ball game. Dawson to work it around the perimeter. Cotton's going to look to drive the lane, throws it up with the right hand, but draws some contact when the basket didn't drop. That foul going against Carson Parker. So Parker doing it all, scoring, stealing, fouling, a little bit of everything. That's her first foul of the night. Will be the Lady Tigers' 7th team foul. Sends Cotton back to the line. Cotton's first a bit short. Bella McConnell will check in for the Lady Tigers.
That's Cotton's first miss from the line tonight.
Cotton coming into this game, Dawson Springs' leading scorer, averaging 10 points per ball game. Her second is up and in. Hendricks checks back into the game. She will replace Simpson for the Lady Panthers.
And Cotton now in double figures for the Lady Panthers with 10, and we have a minute 29 left in this one.
Dawson Springs in that full court. They'll be man-to-man. They get Lady Tigers inbound to Jaggers. Jaggers able to create some space, bring it out of the backcourt. She'll be content to hold. We're down to a minute 21. Boyd working against Hendricks, hands it off to Jaggers. Jaggers has to move. Now is going to drive her way into the lane, kicks it out to Boyd. Boyd content to hold. She'll work her way around the perimeter, minute 7. Boyd will hold one-on-one with Hendricks, dishes it off to Jaggers. Jaggers met by Clark, skips it to McConnell, left side of the lane. And we'll have a foul. That foul going against Orton.
Orton with the reach, trying to get around Bella McConnell. Bella had great position. She caught the pass in a perfect spot, had Orton on her back.
Now checking out of the game is Hendricks. Hendricks going to be replaced by Maddie Fain for the Lady Panthers. 56.8 seconds remaining in the game. Lady Tigers up 46-35 as they inbound. Boyd will hold. Boyd content to work against Clark. She'll hand it off to Jaggers. Dawson back in that man-to-man. Jaggers met by Fain. Jaggers dances around 40 seconds. She'll get it to Boyd. And we're going to have a 30-second timeout called by Coach Thomas. And Dawson looking like pretty content to not foul down by 11 with 38 seconds left.
This is a game that looked like Caldwell County was going to run away with. Dawson changed strategy a little bit in that fourth quarter, went to the man-to-man defense, and it's really caused Caldwell County some trouble. They've outscored the Lady Tigers here in the fourth quarter. It's kind of surprised if they didn't do it, if they're going to play that well, that they didn't start the game with it. I don't know if they don't go deep enough on the bench to take the chance of getting some players in foul trouble, but they played a much better game in the man-to-man than the zone, and I think that's why Coach Thomas called this timeout.
Definitely, and that's something we talked about at the halftime, is what adjustments do you make, and to the credit of the coaching staff for Dawson Springs making the right calls. It's just almost one of those, the case of too little too late, if you will, but overall a great fourth quarter being played by the Lady Panthers. Lady Tigers inbound, 35 seconds remaining, foul by the Lady Panthers. That will go against,
That was Kaylee Simpson, is that her?
Looks like 23 would be Brooklyn Clark, and that will send Jada Boyd to the line for the 1-and-1. Boyd on the bonus, shots up, in. She'll be rewarded with her second, extends the lead to 12. And Jada Boyd having herself a nice night on the score sheet.
Jada also in double figures on the night with her 12th point.
She connects on her second rebound. Rebound free throw. Lady Tigers up 48-35. 27 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. Orton will hold. She'll hand it off to Clark. Clark goes to Cotton. Cotton's going to be met by Boyd. Cotton into the lane, up, and a foul. That foul going against Jada Boyd, and that will send Brooklyn Cotton back to the line for the Lady Panthers. 16.5 seconds remaining. Lady Panthers trail 48, now 36, as Cotton connects with her first.
Cotton 5 out of 6 from the line so far tonight. Got a good stroke at the free throw line.
Been a very consistent shooter. As we mentioned, coming in there, their leading scorer, and has done a lot of her damage from the free throw line. Her second up, no good. That's going to be picked up by McConnell. McConnell holds 12 seconds. McConnell's going to have that ball swatted away with some contact, and with 10.9 seconds left, that will send Bella McConnell to the line for the 1-and-1. Dennis, you got to think this one just about all but over with 10.9 seconds.
Yeah, Caldwell's got this one in the bag. I'm surprised Dawson is fouling this late, still down by 12 with only 10 seconds left.
McConnell connects on her first of the bonus, so she'll be rewarded with the second. McConnell surveys it, ball's up. This one rattles around and drops. Extends the lead to 50-36, 9 seconds. Dawson across midcourt, 3 put up by Clark. That one off the mark. Rebound's going to rattle around. McConnell comes away with it, and that is the way we will end the ball game. So Caldwell County, starting off their 7th district play on the right foot, will now be 1-0 in the district after a 50-36 victory over the Dawson Springs Lady Panthers. We'll take a 3-minute break, and then we'll be back with your post game. You've been listening to Lady Tigers basketball here on 103.3 The Tiger.
Hello, this is Gloria Smith with the law office of Jeff Russo. Are you buying or selling real estate? Are you planning on refinancing your existing home loan? If so, you should be aware that you have your choice in which attorney provides the legal services associated with such transactions. Our law office has over 50 years of experience in real estate law. We pride ourselves on being cost-effective and having a quick turnaround time. If you're in need of such services, call us today at 365-2763 or find us on the web at www.jeffrussolaw.com. We are located in downtown Princeton on the east side of the courthouse.
This is an advertisement. Happy New Year from Cozy Living Interiors in D.C. Hi, this is Pam Havelock. We are so excited it's New Year 2018. We are having for the month of January a 2018 sale. 20% off our big seat and 18% off the store and special orders. Remember, we have a 90-day layaway and financing is available. It is a great time to come to Cozy Living Interiors and Boutique. We're located at 235 Northville Drive, right next to the bowling alley. Cozy Living Interiors, it's everything a home should be.
At Morgan's Funeral Home, we offer safe and secure funeral planning. At Morgan's Funeral Home, we're staffed with experienced funeral planners who know and understand the different methods of pre-funding final arrangements. We can help you design a plan that fits your individual needs and suits your wishes and beliefs. Morgan's Funeral Home, serving families for over 100 years.
Another year has come and gone, and all of us at Fredonia Valley Bank want to thank everyone for another year of being able to serve you in a community where old-fashioned values and neighbor helping neighbor is still a common practice. 2018 marks our 124th year in helping people in our surrounding communities as well as our local community with their financial decisions. We take great pleasure in knowing we have helped many people over the years and developed lasting relationships along the way. Fredonia Valley Bank feels we owe our gratitude and continued success to our customers because without you, we could not be where we are today. Fredonia Valley Bank wishes everyone the best of health, happiness, and blessings throughout the new year and invites you to drop by and feel the warmth of a real community bank. Fredonia Valley Bank is located at 602 Cassidy Avenue, Fredonia, and 226 Commerce Street, Eddyville. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
And welcome back to the cabin. It's post-game. Lady Tigers coming away with their first district victory of the year over Dawson Springs. We're joined by Coach Fralix now. And Coach, congratulations on a district win. And overall, it's got to be pretty happy with the way the girls played tonight.
Well, thank you for the acknowledgement of the district win. It was all district games are big games. And we're for sure proud to get this one, but we weren't real satisfied with the way we played after the first quarter. We thought the first quarter was a really good start for us. We were really working the board strong, and things looked really good, and we jumped out to a good lead. And then we kind of relaxed and coasted a little bit and quit rebounding the balls really well.
One thing that we talked about up here that we thought was definitely a bright spot was the play of Carson Parker. And so just wanted to get your take on her, especially being as young as she is, a freshman, and coming in and having a pretty significant impact on the ball game.
Well, one thing you can always count on Carson to go in and give you a really good effort. She just loves to play the game, and she plays it with a lot of intensity. And she's getting better every time she goes on the floor. She's understanding her role a little bit better. We just need to work on a little bit putting the ball back in the hole. She does a great job of rebounding, but she has a little difficulty of putting the ball back in the hole. She's working on it.
And so looking forward, I know we've got a pretty busy weekend here with the 6th, 7th District shootout that we'll have, and playing Webster. I believe you guys have the earlier of the two games in that one. But then looking a little past that one, I know we're getting into that time of the year where it's district time. You guys come off on the right foot tonight, start it with 1-0. Next week, I know we've got Madisonville North and Hopkins Central. And so just wanted to get your take, kind of your thoughts on the district and the play so far and what to kind of be looking for ahead.
Well, you know, to start out with this game with Webster coming up is a big game for us, because we need to step our game up much like we did when we played Callaway County. We need to play at that level all the time, and we need to get back to that. And I think Webster County would be a good matchup to make that happen. But like I say, next week we've got 2 district games next week, and we feel like that we're capable of winning both of them. But we've got to play better. We can't take anything for granted. And when we get a little lead, we've got to continue to play with some intensity. And we really had a letdown tonight, I felt, when we got off to that good start, got that good lead, and then we thought, well, it's going to be, you know, easy. We just coast from here, and our defense got really lackadaisical. We didn't get out and point the shots, and we didn't move our feet when we were supposed to be double teaming and trapping. So we got some things to work on, but we're pretty happy with where this team is right now.
And that was kind of the last thing I was going to hit on. I know a lot of the times talking with Coach Thomas, her kind of goal for the team is every game you get a little bit better, especially with the team with as much youth that's on this one. Just kind of wanted to get your take on how you think you guys are progressing, and just your thoughts on having such a young team, but a team that's found a lot of success early on in the season.
Well, you know, tonight we probably took a step backward, to be honest about it. We didn't play with the intensity and the purpose that we need to play with in order to be successful and to look like a good ball team. But we are getting better as we go along. I don't know what we got, 10 or 11 wins, 8 wins. I don't know how many we've got, but we're in much better shape than we thought we would be in at this time of the year. And you know, the teams we've got on our schedule coming up, we was looking at yesterday. We don't feel like there's any team that on our schedule now that we can't play with and should beat. But we got to play much better than we did tonight to do that.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you coming up and having a couple words with you, and we appreciate everything you guys do from a coaching staff perspective for these girls. Think you've done a fantastic job with them to this point. We're definitely excited to see this weekend and then some big district matchups next week.
Well, thank you. We appreciate what you do each and every night, and the support that we get from the community is really good. And these girls are young, but they love to play, and they're learning every day, and that's about all you can ask for.
Definitely, and so we thank you for coming up. Wish you the best of luck moving forward, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach. As we mentioned, the Lady Tigers come away with their first 7th District victory of the season. They win this one over Dawson Springs, and we'll look forward to some more district play. But Dennis, you get settled back in over here. Overall, I know from a coaching perspective, you're going to pick some things here and there you're satisfied with, you're not satisfied with, but from outside of a coaching perspective, from a fan's perspective, I guess I would say, always got to be happy with the win.
I think the win is the most important thing right here, of course, especially being the first game of the district. I think Coach Thomas is going to be really pleased with the start of the ball game, maybe a little teaching points in the second half of the ball game as Caldwell County built up a 42-24 lead after 3 quarters and end up winning 50-36, actually outscored in the 4th quarter by Dawson 12-8. But the Lady Tigers did a good job coming out taking care of business early. I thought the play of Carson Parker kind of set the tone. She was rebounding everything that went up on both ends of the floor. It kind of spilled over into J.C. Jaggers, Kelsey Ford. They all got in on the act. The man-to-man defense really caused the Lady Tigers some trouble, though, especially in that 4th quarter, as Dawson actually clawed their way back up to within 10 at one point. Taking a look at the scoring tonight, Caldwell County led in scoring by J.C. Jaggers on a very balanced score sheet tonight. J.C. with 13 points on the night. She was followed by Jada Boyd with 12, Peyton Young with 10, so 3 Lady Tigers in double figures tonight. After that, it went down to Carson Parker with 6 points, but just a bushel basket of rebounds, both offense and defense. 5 points for Bella McConnell off the bench, and 4 points for Lucy Goffinette. Caldwell County with 5 turnovers in the first half, but they had 10 in the second half. So I'm sure that's an issue that Coach Thomas will work on with these girls, especially against that man-to-man. So 15 turnovers on the night for Caldwell County. They worked great at the line tonight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 out of 15 tonight from the foul line. So a great job tonight shooting free throws. If you're a high school team and you're shooting above 70, 75, 80%, you're going to win some ball games shooting like that from the free throw line. For Dawson Springs, they were led tonight by Erin Orton. Erin had a big second half, finished with 14 points on the night, followed by Brooklyn Cotton, who had 11, 6 points for Denisha Randolph, 5 points for Brooklyn Clark, and 2 points tonight for Kaylee Simpson. Dawson, 19 turnovers unofficially on the night, but 14 of those in the first half. So it was kind of a game of 2 halves for each team. Dawson sloppy in the first half, fell behind big, put the man-to-man on, took care of the ball a little bit better, caused Caldwell County some turnovers, and you can see the score fluctuate as the turnovers for each side went up or down.
And always an interesting thing in a ball game with the district playing district opponents twice, I should say, during the season. So it'll be interesting to see. The Lady Tigers will match up again with Dawson Springs February 8th in Dawson. And so will be an interesting game to watch. As we mentioned, moving forward, the Lady Tigers setting themselves up on the right foot in district play. We'll have a test and a second region opponent in Webster County this weekend. And then next week we'll get the bulk of that district play out of the way, traveling to Hopkins County Central and having Madisonville North at home. And so this is kind of that time in the season where you hit the bulk of your play, you're past the Christmas break, you're into the January, February timetable, and this is where the rubber really meets the road, to speak. And so this is something that'll be interesting to see how they progress. But overall, a team for the Lady Tigers with so much youth, you've got to be excited at where they're at. They now sit 9-4, 1-0 in the district, and overall, I think at a much better place than a lot of people would have given them credit for at the start of the season. Yeah,
this is a team that's really grown. Early in the year, they were having trouble finishing the games. I saw them play a couple of games in that West Kentucky Hoops Classic, and they just flat out played some ball against Callaway County and against Corinth, Mississippi. Pulled out 2 wins. They were strong. They took care of the ball. They played with a sense of purpose. Everybody did exactly what Coach Thomas wanted them to do in their specific roles. That's the kind of play they're going to have against Madisonville. They're going to have against Hopkins Central. And even Webster County, I think you said they have Webster in the 6th, 7th matchup. Webster County sitting right now at 13-4 and 4-0 in their region. So that's not an easy game. That's going to be a tough one coming up. Webster County generally pretty good. So these Lady Tigers are young, and Coach Thomas loves working with them. She said they love to learn. They come in, they have fun at practice, they try hard, and she likes that. You don't have, like we talked about before the game, you don't have that one star scorer that's going to lead them night in and night out. They've played a dozen games so far. They've had 5 different leading scorers, in the first 8 games.
And I think as you look at a team holistically, that's something that you want. If it's always nice to have that one player who can take control, but if you have a balanced team, and if you have a team that on any given night someone can step up and be that star player, I think that sets you up for some good things looking forward.
Yeah, I think J.C. Jaggers is going to be probably the leading scorer, but when you can get double digits from Peyton Young, or you can get double digits from who else was it tonight for Caldwell County that had Jada Boyd had 12. On any given night, Bella McConnell's going to go double digits. So when you get that balance and that spread out, and you start getting some points from Carson Parker on some of these putbacks when she gets better angles or uses the board a little bit better and learns that, this is going to be a tough team. They're going to be just as capable as any team in the district of pulling that district championship away.
And so exciting to see how they're going to look moving forward. As we mentioned, they will be back in action on Saturday, as the Lady Tigers will take on the Lady Trojans out of Webster County. The Tigers as well, men's team, will take on the Webster County Trojans that same day. All of those games at the Cab at Caldwell County. So we definitely invite you to come out to that one. As we wrap this thing up, I always like to say thank you to our sponsors who are able to make this possible and give these student athletes spotlight and broadcast their performances as they work hard both inside the classroom and outside. And we're very thankful of them and the support of the community. To wrap things up, as we mentioned, Lady Tigers do come away with the victory over Dawson Springs, move to 9-4 on the season. We'll move to 1-0 in the district, and we'll be back in action Saturday. More district games to follow in the coming week. We thank everyone who has tuned in. As always, we appreciate you listening locally on 103.3 FM The Tiger. You can always check out the live stream on www.wpkyonline.com or search WPKY on YouTube to find all of those live streams. So it is a good night here in Caldwell County. Lady Tigers able to take away the victory. This has been Eric Jacobs alongside Dennis Stevens and Darren Lewis bringing you all the action. We wish you a great night. You've been listening to Lady Tigers basketball here on your hometown station, 103.3 FM, The Tiger.